Welcome back to Pisces TV with Dr. MB. Get your ass in here. You a Pisces and you ain't been following my channel. Hit that subscription button and the notification bell. What type of mess? We are going to get started with your pick a card. So I'll set a disclaimer that if you're interested, there will be a collective message at the end of the video here. These messages may be reflected in your life. It says within the next few months. So for the collective message and the questions or concerns that you have come here today for could be within the next few months. And that doesn't answer your question, because for some of you it's in your cards, but this is the collective message for the reading, and I just wanted to set that disclaimer in case you guys are interested in staying to for the end of the video. So I will sit them here with my favorite crystal, and I will give you time for group 1, 2, and 3 to go ahead and make your selections. We will go ahead and get started with group 1. I have hidden things. Okay. So your card is You're Ready. I absolutely love this. It seems like you're ready. What I love about this one is the Ankh, the eternal symbol, one of the most ancient symbols. I also love like this wand energy, like the Olympians or whatever, the torch lighting. I love the halo or the realm of light, like the rainbows. It could be essential to those of you that may have like archangels, ascended masters, guides that are giving you something or passing the torch. And so it says that you're ready. They feel like you're ready. Maybe you were wondering about something, and it says that you're ready. This is a beautiful card to have. Group 1, it's the Two of Wands. It's seeing the world as your oyster. I do love the roses. That looks like, even though this is a gold card, it gives the illusion of like white roses and red roses. So I do love that. There may be many directions for you to take because I'm looking like right there. If you can see it it looks like a X. X usually marks the spot, and he has the wand down on that pedestal. Looks like he's looking from above on the patio or something like that, looking down before him. I love the water and the mountains. It looks as if it has, all of the elements, even though this is the fire suit. We have the clear skies. There's no shades of gray or clouds. We got the mountains, the water, the valley, all of that good stuff. Your crystal selection is very beautiful. It is fluorite, organization, clear priorities. Structure can provide freedom, and fluorite helps organize your life from top to bottom, heightening focus and releasing unnecessary stress. Fluorite assists with bringing clarity into your life, lifting your mental capabilities for crystal clear intuition and empowered decision making. So there could be a decision involved in you or someone in your environment. Maybe they're ready. By taking your discernment up a notch, fluoride protects against bad influences and psychic manipulation. So that could be in the environment. It also both grounds and lifts your energy, connecting your body to the earth and the higher spiritual realm. And I did notice that, like I said, here's the earth, here's the up above, and he's like in a good position. So I love that. It asks us to prioritize balance. Um, so I like that. It involves Capricorn, Pisces, and Mercury energy, and I'll sit it here so you can glance at it as we continue with your reading. So you're ready. And like I said, the message that comes with this Two of Wands talks about lifetime situations for some of you, and how it involves conscious selection from your spiritual path may have like alternatives. So you'll have the ability to, in these multiple options or these paths, to help others. And I absolutely love that. It talks about your movements and how you'll be open, like some things will be open and obvious, although kind of subtle, where others may watch you or learn from you. And even though you may not be a very flamboyant or the person that, because like if your guides and spirit has to tell, they have to tell you that you're ready, you're not a person that preaches that to the crowd, but still there could be a crowd or people watching you that could move the way you move. So you're kind of like a leader to your collective. I love that. Your disciplines and observations in which you participate with the divine will most likely be shared by others. So your spiritual connection, and as I stated, like the discipline that you have to the divine, others may see that and notice that. Maybe they notice it and appreciate it and choose you to be some sort of, teacher, mogul, model, or leader. If not to like the future, your collective. It doesn't have to be like big and grand. It just shows some level of achievement. This card also does support achievements, particularly in business plans, but it could just be plans that you may have. This is a card of success, courage, and the courage will bring you happiness. There's an important contract for you, possibly a transaction or a letter. And since we talked about the in-between or something, earthly or spiritual, there could be spiritual contracts that are being manifested into the physical or actual physical contracts for some of you guys, transactions or letters, a completion of your work. You're ambitious. It translates your ideas into reality, so I love that for you guys. There may also be an unusual or unexpected event that kind of tests your ability to judge fairly. So notice that this talked about amplifying your intuition and decision making. So that could be important about a question, person, or event that you have in mind for this reading. Some of you may not feel sure, but are still able to stand on your choice. That may be something that someone in your environment or your guides like about you, that even if you're not sure, you still know what's best or have an ability to make it look good and it still not be a bad choice. So I think that's super dope. Your greatest problem for some of you guys, if any, just talks about your own boredom, because some of you guys are very ready for something, right? It's that kind of ready. Like some people, we may have to coach them into understanding you're ready, you can do this, and cheer them on. Others of you, there may be the amplified energy of you being ready. So the boredom in what's to come or the wait for what's to come could be, a situation. But I would like that if my greatest problem was like boredom or my own self, I mean, that's a decent problem to have. Now, clarify things to prevent misunderstandings could be an issue or a challenge and or advice for some of you, because remember, group one, there's more than just you here. It's a general reading, even though it's broken down into the 3 tiers. So for some of you, preventing misunderstandings by clarifying may be a good thing. And since we are talking about contracts, transactions, and things of that nature, or bringing your ideas into reality, that may be important. Since you're so ready, we don't want to overlook, misunderstand, and things of that nature. So for some of you, something in your life could appear small, so you're ready for bigger things. Okay, and the cards agree with you. All right. So prepare for something like that. And then there's also a situation of like oaths and pledges on a spiritual level. So some of you guys are elevating and graduating. So like I said, with the torch being passed, get ready. Okay. So group one, I thought that was just super dope. I love these cards, and I'm so happy that I chose to use them for this particular reading because it matched your energy. Now we are going to get started with group two. Okay, so group two, very pretty colors here. I love this lilac. All right, this like that purple pink kind of shimbakal. You have kunzite, which is love, fertility, and transition. So as it breaks down barriers surrounding the heart, kunzite offers unconditional love to heal lingering wounds, helps you feel safe while being vulnerable, allowing you to express your love authentically and expansively. A highly vibrational stone, kunzite protection can be used as an energetic shield that surrounds your aura and protects it against emotional vampires and negative influences. This stone aids in feminine rite of passage, okay? From puberty to becoming a mother, kunzite supports loving your body no matter what phase of life you're in. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Venus, and Pluto energy. So look at that. Very beautiful crystal again. Now, I thought of Archangel Uriel, even though in some traditions or folklores, Uriel is a guy. I always thought that was like a girly name. So I don't care. I don't see how divine beings are have genders in the first place, because it's the third dimension is where that duality comes from. So group two, nonetheless, you have abundance. And what she's holding looks to be like a bowl or something that's so full that it's just coming from everywhere. It's coming in and out, spilling over, and still full. I love that. Now, why this sister got her hair wrapped around her neck like a scarf is beyond me, but maybe it's a scarf that matches her hair. I love that. She's being supported on many levels, and I see how that creates some sort of abundance where this is like advanced because in my opinion, because we have like the chakras on a human level that talks about here, 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 and here, or whatever. But these are those additional chakras. I didn't even learn about those until I was like an adult, that there are like chakras and auras like above the head or whatever, above the crown. There's additional ones. So this is like, something beyond all of us here at the moment. That brings you abundance, group two. And I think that is super dope with that beautiful pink stone. Okay. Now your card is the Page of Swords. All right. And the Page of Swords definitely talks about an advantage. Okay. The Page of Swords energy is the raw energy that the court cards or like the queen or the king would have. And in your case, this is the general who has the best, team, the best cavalry officers with the best advanced scout. You know what I mean? So if you're like, well, what does that break down to? It kind of just talks about you having what you need at your fingertips. Okay. And honestly, it feeds off of group one, where it talks about you're ready. For some of you guys, you may be ready for abundance. You may be ready for an overflow, or just group two, it just shows abundance and your Page of Swords. This is the age of information. This is Aquarian energy, and we're in the age of Aquarius. So it talks about collecting and kind of like sharing of information. Some of you could be a messenger, and that is involved in your soul purpose or a business or something like that. So basically spreading information, much like this Page of Swords, who comes with a message. Some of you may have concerns. So maybe it's the Page of Swords that's communicating this abundance or the message that was in your crystal card. And the concerns that you have, you're being asked to align your thoughts and words with your actions. That may be very important. And I know personally how I could resonate with that. It changed my life, okay, for me to pull who I thought I was out of me more. Because like sometimes in life how others see us, or how situations are mirrored, it may not reflect directly how we feel or like what we're thinking. So just making sure that the actions, the words, and the thoughts are kind of in alignment, and that could be where the abundance comes in. Act on your ideas. It's a great time to act on your ideas rather than just talk about them. Remaining fixed on old parts of you or old situations may block new things, and since you may favor abundance, that is a beautiful message to be brought. It asks us to be receptive to people in our environment, so you'll know when they're on the defense. And I thought that was a really good message for abundance, because you don't want people in your environment or sharing, since we talked about sharing information or collecting something that could be for your sole purpose or a business. It still just also represents like you could be very abundant and very giving, and to others it could come off a bit naive. And so I don't know if it's like to yourself or to others or someone in your environment. We don't want to miscommunicate the fact that because you're abundant or giving, to come off as naive to people that don't mean you well, because it talked about being receptive to people in your environment, so you'll know when they're on the defense. You may feel some lack in certain areas of your life, and sometimes that could cause us to come off a little bit naive to ourselves or others. So just be, selective and receptive. Ask questions. That's the Aquarian energy of the Page of Swords, to do some research, to investigate, and to ask questions, because this abundance is here. And like the cards say, you want to make sure that the people in your environment are not being defensive or critical of you if you're working to be confident and courageous in your endeavors. Okay. So we have group 3 coming up. See what you got here in your hidden little cards or whatnot. Your crystal card. Okay, we will start with that. You have blue lace agate. Peace, gentle, new beginnings. You have Gemini, Pisces, and Mercury. So this is, in alignment with the season or whatnot. Oh, you got 2 cards. Okay. So blue lace agate is your supportive nudge in the right direction, whispering words of encouragement when you experience self-doubt. It opens your throat chakra and helps ease any blockages in your self-expression. Being seen and heard is a priority. Your feelings are valid and important too. Okay, so don't worry about what others will think. Release all fear of judgment and get ready to leave any thoughts of inadequacy behind. Blue lace agate encourages you to start anew, because every day is a fresh beginning. So I love that. There could be a fresh new beginning for you. Okay, and it talks about gentle and peaceful, and I love that energy. That's very Piscean. So if I have Pisces watching this, or just a blue-natured individual, your angel message is don't stop. Get it, don't stop. Okay. What I love about this the most is the footing, because there's something special about the Hangman and the World card, where they have this special like footing on the clock of the surrounding symbols and elements of the card. So I love that the right foot is forward, and we're on the stairs or almost floating. I like that too. I don't know if this is a staff like a wand or some sort of horn, but this angel of all the cards have the biggest wings, the brightest halo, and it talks about being seen, baby. So I definitely see this, and I love that for you, group 3. We're going to get into your tarot cards. Now 2 cards came out, and I can't stop the message of spirit. If there's a deeper message in a combination of cards, I'm definitely going to read them. And sometimes I'll go back and say, well, if they got 2 cards, I'm going to add more for the others, but I felt that it would give the same substance without overdoing it and going too in depth with the individual cards, just to focus on what the combination of the cards means. So if any of you are sneak watching from group 1 or 2, just know that I normally do add more if additional cards come out for a certain group, but I didn't think it was necessary this time. So group 3, what tripped me out was for this Ace of Wands with the 8 of Swords, you are an enlightened being. I recently did a reading where we talked about enlightened beings, so I hope you saw it. If not, please check the video tab for that video. But group 3, definitely enlightened beings that may be dealing with some sorts of self-limitation. You could be experiencing an awakening, a higher state of awareness at the time, but it's going to teach you humility. And I can resonate with that because no human could teach me humility. I didn't trust people like that. And I have an ability to see like imperfections later within myself, but naturally from a child up until like early adulthood, I could damn sure see others. So I didn't really trust people, or at least the people in my environment, and nothing could humble me. Not people, not situations, because I felt like that was losing. What I appreciate is going through, because we have many awakenings and many stages of awakenings, but the one that I think may have been most significant is actually like one of the most recent ones. And it took something subtle, something unseen, and something almost like a miracle to give me this unconditional love and patience. So I reciprocated that. Humans, I got some loving family members, the greatest grandparents, great grandparents, some cool parents, siblings, aunts and uncles, whatever the case. But nobody and nothing could help me the way that this energy did. And another funny story, when I was going through my awakening, I was also starting a holistic business or whatever, doing my oils and sprays and YouTube and all that. And I was just going through some weird stuff, right? So I went to this lady whom I had got a lot of wholesale products from, and I trusted because she sent like some old school OG like witch lady or something, I don't know. And I told her a little bit of information about what I was experiencing in my awakening. And I got this card. Like she came back. She sent me this card in the email. And I knew, because of some of the stuff and how vulnerable I was with what I told her, I knew the average individual would just be like, this motherfucker is off her rocker. But I did not expect that from her. So I was proud because I'm like, well, maybe I'm experiencing some stuff that is beyond her scope of support, because I know the fuck I ain't crazy. And she had no answer for me. So when this card came out, I did immediately think of energy. I thought of thoughts, and I did think of that part of my life. I promise you I did. Not projecting into your reading, but the actual interpretations of the cards just talk about being enlightened, accepting invitations, whether it's from the spiritual or the physical, being taught humility through your awareness. It talks about the opening and development of the third eye, right, which could feel a little bit unstable at times. So that's what made me think about that too for you guys. It talked about integrating spirituality into your daily routines to help with some of these, mental, emotional, or in this case, energetic or physical, awakenings or whatnot. The passion here, and for some of you, like the messages may be different for different people who pick group 3, but the passion within this situation is the product of, for some, almost a love of mind itself. And this is where it got like Gemini season for me, where that may bring out different aspects of you, because it talks about a desire of the mind to know the mind, right? And then it, in duplicating itself and its contents to make some available to others. And that sounds like a higher being or God or something that says, I'm going to take a piece of myself, duplicate it in you. And that way, I have like me or whatever the thing is, and then this manifestation of itself. And here's this manifestation of itself. I also would warn to be mindful of your mind and your thoughts, because it manifests itself into reality. And so what you see is what you're kind of getting, or what you're seeing and what you're getting is kind of what you're thinking. So be mindful of self-limitations or any sort of fears or whatever. It also talks about some of you, just like group 1, could be teachers, where like you have such a profound mind, and you're so good at learning that there's both something to teach and time to teach it, because your capacity and your ability to learn. So it says to not stop, something that you're doing, possibly not stopping it. There may also be over analytical parts of your mind making you unable to make a decision. So maybe like your mind isn't stopping, and why this cool blue reminds me of what is it, Solidite or Sodalite? I always say it fucked up, so forgive me. But it's very calming, especially for speakers and writers and those of us that are enlightened, or just helping calm that neurological system and the nerves, okay? Because this 8 of Swords with the Ace of Wands, being that I said that, is giving me that 9 of Swords vibe. So just be mindful of that. You may often feel restricted, some of you, because of this self-restriction. And it does talk about either within self, the subconscious, or the environment. There could be like a little bit of feeling victimized. And Spirit said to say that there are no victims here. And I really hate telling people that, because to me, it's kind of like victim shaming, but I'm just the messenger. I'm doing my job. And if Spirit said to say that there are no victims, ain't no victims. So that's what I got to say. Balancing your mind, and know that nothing is limiting you, but your own programming. So it does talk about a little bit of the things that we've experienced, seen, or allowed to repeat in the mind. And those things alone could be limiting. And so we all can kind of like, blurt out some examples of that, where you could have been raised by people who think a certain way in a society that thinks a certain way. And subconsciously, unconsciously, or consciously, that has become a part of like our genetic programming, mental programming on a cellular level. So just be mindful of that, which I thought was great news, right? The Ace of Wands sometimes can talk about a yes or excitement, and great news is the limitation is actually within self. So if we work on unfolding that, there's nothing really that has its claws on us. And I thought that was good news, because there are situations where something or someone could have their claws on somebody. And I'm thankful that it's not you. Okay. So that is what I have for you, group 1, 2, and 3. Those of you that are interested in the collective message, we have one of my favorite stones. This is in the family of the Herkimer stones, which I have like one there and one there. They're like 2 little halves of stones, and they're so cute. And that's cute for Gemini season, because I think about the head, which is like the Emperor, the King of Swords energy. We do have the skull right there. And to have those 2 stones on each side, it's like the twins. So we are in alignment, you guys. And I don't know why that dog is woke this late at night, but that is insane. This is the golden anhydro Herkimer. That's some fancy stuff. It says sunshine, vitality, and joy. We have Sagittarius and Sun, and know that we're going through that Sagittarius full moon. So this is super dope and in alignment with what's in the transits. It says containing floating gold liquid. Okay. And maybe that's why the gold cards are here. I don't know. I've never had this card come out before, I don't think. Gold, and maybe I have, but I don't ever remember shit, so it's cool. Gold anhydro Herkimer is named after the oil suspended within the crystal, rare and possessing wisdom from the Himalayas, where it is found. Okay, now I do kind of remember a little bit. This stone stimulates the third eye and enhances intuition and connection to the universe. Golden anhydrohecamire promotes gender fluidity. Oh, that's crazy. And I did bring that up when I was talking about what's her name? The Archangel Uriel. I'm like, that's a girl name. But some books that I read, it's a dude. And I'm like, bullshit. Anyway, so there's that. Assisting in transitions and connecting with one's gender or healing wounds. Okay. Strongly tied to the solar plexus. I love that. Golden anhydrohecamire can clear out emotional baggage from many lifetimes. Live out loud and proud. All right. So be loud and be proud is what it's saying. Now, I did say that to this one guy. He was like, don't you start that flexible shit. And then over time, I did kind of change my mind. And I guess it's, becoming a mother and like watching what people teach my children or making things overly acceptable. But at the same time, respecting adults and some young adults' decisions. But I told him that I was just like, he was against certain things. I'll just say that. And my stance was, if we reincarnate over and over and over again, and those memories are in our cells or in our hearts, you could have been anything, any race, any sex, any creed, any nationality over a series of however many times you've incarnated. And some people could struggle with things that they've been that's embedded in them and what they actually are in the physical today. And that could include something like, gender and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, there you go with that old psychology stuff. So I was like, yeah, I feel you or whatever. So for the collective, one of the cards too that came out is within the next few months. I thought that was super dope. Oh, we got another crystal card and I'll read that. This one's pretty too. We also have be assertive. So as we kind of just like look at the imagery, this card didn't have any angels in it. So that is something for the collective where it actually has the throne, and gives that chariot energy. I do love that instead of a rainbow, it's all golden. This arc here is all golden, and that's pretty dope. Other than that, it's just pretty dope. We got like somebody about to get some red carpet festivities going on, but she has taken her mask off or has the capacity to put it on. And it talks about being assertive. So what I've learned from tarot and oracle cards is the mask could represent, some shaky stuff. And the reason why I bring that up is because you got the Seven of Swords, the Star, and the Three of Pentacles, which I don't feel is shaky stuff, but I'm a glass half full kind of person. So I'll let you discern what this message is. But there is a mask. Okay. Sometimes masks are worn to aid in our courage and our bravery for us to feel ready, right? Sometimes people have to put on uniforms to play football. People put on masks and uniforms to do plays and just things like the magician, because the magician does share some of the Seven of Swords energy, to just step into the moment. Okay, so I will say that without like over fluffing the Seven of Swords being here, right? The other crystal card that we have is Big Spite, which is timing, action, change. It talks about Aries, Taurus, Moon. That's the recent past too. Aries, Taurus season, and then we have the moon here. It says timing is everything, and with Big Spite, that couldn't be truer. Big Spite has an impeccable knack for right timing, okay? And can encourage you to try new things, pursue an opportunity, or change anything that needs an update. And so update with the Seven of Swords does sometimes talk about communication, how we collect information. It talks about technology and tech things. So some of you guys may be updating some of your equipment. We're in the age of Aquarius and the season of Gemini. So I see that to be, likely. You also have the Star here, which is Aquarian energy, and the Three of Pentacles that sometimes talks about work or collaborating. So I like that. Now, Big Spite opens the connection between your base chakra and your heart chakra. So, from my understanding, the base chakra would be like the root, and there are two other chakras, in that space. So, just something within that base region coming up to the heart, maybe, and infuses you with unconditional love for yourself and others. It encourages energy expressed as action and movement. And I did, for you, group 3, kind of get, like I said, with the 8 of swords and the ace of wands. I did honestly keep thinking like 8 wands. I don't know why. I guess because it was the ace of wands with the 8 swords. And I don't often do that, but when I do that, it could be for a reason. Okay. So anyway, movement, action, progression, to move toward true alignment between you and your soul. Oh, see, look, it says update what's outdated with joy and recharge your life. Okay, so that does sound kind of a little techie. I don't think I'm forcing it. Um, with these cards, okay, again, you have the 7 of Swords. You have the Star. And maybe, who was that? Group 1, you sitting up there on the balcony, you should be able to see all of this stuff with his little short self. You see him standing up on this thing too, like I'm going to be above and pour this out. Oh my God. I never even paid attention to this man stepping up on this pedestal or whatnot. So that's interesting. And then you do have some steps up. Okay. So that's kind of dope. But with these particular cards, as far as like what they could represent overall in a message, the mental plane is shifting gears for some of us. And that's why in one of your card selections, I think group 3, you got the enlightened ones, and that actually came out in one of our starseed readings. So for the collective, the mental plane could be shifting gears for the planet, for Pisces, for the people in this reading. Okay. Plans now involve hard data, depth, and evaluation. So we're definitely, even though we're very magical, Pisces, we're very magical, whatever signs you are, it just talks about there's more depth and data and evaluation being put in some of your plans, which is very impressive. And it does talk about stepping forward. So when I said stepping up, it also includes like stepping forward with your agenda, whatever your agenda is. Now be mindful, could be others in the environment stepping forward with their agenda. Okay. If it's not you, it's just something that we could experience. Writing may be involved because it is Gemini season. So some of you that are into writing, that energy is here. Doing something daring, including others, and perfecting something. Because it does talk about a little bit of perfectionism, which nothing is wrong with that. For some of you, it talks about getting approved, certified, and even some advanced education. So I thought that was dope. It talks about news, publishing, and writing, as well as action. The star is kind of like the eye of the beholder. So for some of us, you could be the eye of the beholder in how you kind of perceive things, where the 3 of Pentacles involves a need to trust because we could be collaborating and working with others. The 7 of Swords could talk about deception or a lack of trust and just moving away from the conflict to leave things up in the air. All right. Now, a part of me, right, that's unnecessary and could be inappropriate. When I first saw these, because of the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck over here, my first mind said, it's that lion ass Aquarius. But usually, no shade, right? It's just collective humor that some people feel that like Libras and Aquarius just lie. So I did kind of say that, but I'm not trying to inflict any toxicity into your reading. So just know that. But uplifting values are essential in the process of being enlightened. So as we talked about, higher powers humbling us, that may be necessary because it's a part of your journey or the process. Calm after the storm. I love that. Some of us could have gone through, because we did have a reading about deception, betrayal, like theft, or some of my mystics going through all of these upgrades and phases into the unknown and the unseen and the unspeakable. Okay. You're working directly with the divine. And it just talks about a newfound freedom. You are blessed. It also talks about having strong desires to know the truth, recognizing your ability to surpass human nature. Look at that. It's like, that's why he like, can't, kind of got that little smirk like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then with the star here, which could, okay, so I guess the car alarm agrees with me, but we talk about divine beings and collaborating with the divine. I think that that's pretty dope. It also talks about accepting your desires to be active in projects. And I do know people that say, I've had, thoughts and things that I like, but we haven't really implemented them into our physical lives for one reason or the other. There could be others in our environment that never supported it, some discomfort in it, or even a lack of trust, or kind of being like on the fence about, well, I like it, but I don't know if it's for me type deal when it comes to spirituality or something, right? These cards kind of point to accepting your desires to be active in certain projects. And I don't know what those projects are, but maybe you do. It also talks about much possibly has already come your way. And some of you, it's like, even though opportunities may have come, you're still kind of like fine tuning the goals. And that's kind of where we talked about, perfecting and trying to include others and doing something daring, because we've had opportunities, we ain't take none of them. And to us, we're still like perfecting our goals or figuring things out. So just be mindful of that kind of energy and staying in it too long. Integrating your dreams into your relationships so that you can see who really supports you and who's for real could be very big, especially with the 7 of Swords here, and some abundance or some things that some of you are coming into. Even if it's just your personal power, just imagine how you can save yourself from outgrowing a situation and then trying to find your way out of it. We've all experienced that. All of us are adults here. And it's like, I wasn't really outwardly expressive of who I truly am. And then the moment I try to do that, what if the people closest to me or that I'm in a relationship is totally, not in alignment with that? So those are some things that we could be experiencing in the near future or maybe in the recent past. But it tells us all to think big. That is what I have here. And I do hope that it helps. Don't forget to hit the like button. And if you guys are interested in personal readings, consultations, coaching, be it for spiritual progression or content creation, I am here for you. Okay, email me, drmb@piscestv.com. So it's just drmb@piscestv.com.
I wanna love you so bad.